Is addressing biodiversity in English from an Anglo-Saxon point of view an issue? Europe and North America are made up of mostly individualistic cultures, whereas Japan, most of Asia, and some parts of Africa are collectivist cultures. How does worldview influence how we perceive nature? For 7 years, I lived immersed in Japanese culture. Springtime cherry blossom festivals, summertime fireflies, autumn moon festivals, and winter naked man festivals where men vie for a willow branch in the snow. In Zen temples, quieting the sounds of cicadas and birds as I noticed them entering my mind. Taking forest baths. In traditional Japan, the current word for nature, shizen, didn't mean nature as commonly understood today, as in the objective, material world, existing separately from humanity, art, and culture. Shizen, as understood by the Japanese, means a spontaneous process, wherein humanity is absorbed in the becoming of things. Shizen has never been the only concept signifying nature in Japan. Japanese veneration of nature springs from rich, pluralistic discourses where any number of terms, such as michi, which means the natural way, tenchi, which means heaven and earth, kawa, rivers, and yama, mountains, signify the diversity of the natural world and its spontaneous processes. A person's self-concept can vary considerably across cultures. Philosopher and historian Saigusa Hiroto stresses how people and nature are intertwined in Japan, while in the West, people are supposedly viewed as conquerors of nature. In contrast to the Western individual, the Japanese social actor is contextual. And contextuals treat interpersonal relations as part of oneself, rather than something outside the boundaries of self. In fact, the Japanese word for myself is jibun, which means my part of some larger whole. In Japanese, words are superfluous, and language is especially contextual. For example, kaeteru, changing, could mean I am changing, you are changing, the moon is changing, or biodiversity is changing, all depending on the context. In Japanese traditional culture, there is a sixth sense, one of extreme empathy with the surrounding environment. By having the contextual foresight to take care of others, including nature in Japan, it comes back to you tenfold. You can completely forget yourself in order to take care of others, including nature, and trust that you'll be taken care of in return. In fact, having to think about myself in order to survive was one of the biggest reverse culture shocks I experienced when leaving Japan and returning to the West. Collectivist and individualistic cultures also differ in how moral behavior is enforced. The Japanese place great emphasis on shame and are skilled at exercising self-restraint for the greater good, all within a contextualized world where the self is a part of nature. At a vending machine, I saw a big Coca-Cola can next to a little Coca-Cola can, each 100 yen. My bigger is better American side tried to stop my Japanese friend Aki as she reached for the smaller one. Look, the bigger one's the same price, I said. Yes, she said, but I'm not that thirsty. It would be a waste.